Good morning. We're going to do our Super Kids reading lesson this morning, and we are doing For the Birds, Chapter 4. The summary from the last chapters were that they decided to plant a garden, and some of the Super Kids went and got seeds, but they forgot to get them for Alf and Talk. And then Alf and Talk thought of another way to get seeds. They got some out of a bird feeder that Alf's mom had, and the other Super Kids kind of teased him and weren't very nice and made fun of him and said stuff like, oh, you're going to grow bird blossoms and stuff like that. So now I'm kind of excited to see what happens in Chapter 4. So, let's see. Chapter 4. Read along with me. And remember, boys and girls, you can read this book over and over with me or by yourself, because reading practice is important. I'm going to make sure that my voice has inflection and that I read with fluency, which means I'm reading at a good pace. Chapter 4. After a while, carrots, radishes, corn, beans, peas, and beets started to grow. Something even began to grow from the bird seed. Oh, I'm so glad. Let's see what grew. Oh, look at that. He looks kind of surprised. Each day, the birdseed plants got bigger. In fact, they were the tallest plants in the garden. The kids stopped making fun of Alf and Talk. Then one sunny day, the birdseed plants blossomed. Really fast. What does blossomed mean? Think about it. Good. It means that a flower grew. That birdseed plant is so pretty, said Doc. Look at it, it is pretty. It is the best plant in the garden, said Tack. Just then, a bird landed on the plant. Tack laughed. She said, see, we did grow birds after all. I'm sorry, that should have said talk. Mrs. Silva's glasses aren't working. All right, so what happened in Chapter 4? Let's talk about some of the things so we can work on our comprehension. Do you think the Super Kids were surprised that Alf and Talk's birdseed is growing? Yes, I do too. I think they were really surprised. What made you think they were surprised? They didn't think it would grow. They thought it was just for the birds to eat. Yes. So let's look at some of the plants in that garden. Do they all look the same? No, they don't look the same. They're all different plants, huh? So if different seeds grow different plants and different plants look different. If you go into your own house in your yard, you will see that all plants aren't the same. And they also said one plant was the tallest. Do you remember which one that was? Yeah, it was the one that grew from the bird seed. Do you think after all that bird seed that they planted grew, do you think the Super Kids kept making fun of Talk and Alf? Why do you think they stopped? Oops, there goes my cat. They realized that Alf and Talk's plan wasn't so silly after all, huh? And the birdseed plants grew bigger and faster than the other plants. Have you ever seen a plant that looks like that? Or let's look at the other picture when it's blossomed. Have you ever seen one of those plants before? What do you think that plant is called? I think it's called a sunflower. And there are actually seeds in this part of the sunflower, and birds do eat them, but so do people. I like to eat sunflower seeds when I'm watching a ball game or something. So I have to ask you some questions. Do you think the other Super Kids acted like good friends to Alf and Talk? Do you think they were acting nice through this story? No, I don't think they were either. How do you think they could have acted? They could have shared some seeds. That would have been nice. They could have not made fun of them when they found some seeds. You're absolutely right. Can you think of some words to describe how the other super kids were acting, not in this picture, but in the picture, in this picture? What are some of the ways you can describe how they were being to Talk and Alf? Silly or mean or even bratty, huh? They were not being nice, that's for sure. How about Alf and Talk? Can you think of some words to describe how they were acting? They were patient. They weren't getting mad. They were calm. Good. Do you think it's smart for, well, you know, Alf and Talk, they tried a different approach to growing in the garden. They tried something different. They thought differently. They said, we got to figure this out and find some seeds, and they were very successful. Do you think it was smart for them to keep working on the garden and ignore the other kids like they did? I want you to think about that and maybe tell your parents or somebody why, because I want you to use good responses in complete sentences. Okay, thanks. Bye.